Hey YouTube, it's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, here with another electronic drum video. Today we're going to be talking about the iPad. Now the iPad is a device by Apple, which I'm sure you all know. And right here we've got a brand new iPad. This is the latest version, 2021. It's 2022 right now, but this one came out in 2021. The reason why I wanted to do a video on the iPad is really, if you're looking for a device to record your electronic drums with, like say you don't have anything, you don't have any software, you don't have any, experience with DAWs or anything like that, the iPad is actually probably one of the best things that you could get most bang for your buck just right out of the box to basically pair with your electronic drums. And there's a number of reasons why that's the case. Number one is GarageBand. GarageBand is a DAW. It's a kind of a minimal DAW, but it does quite a bit. It lacks a few of the really professional features that major DAWs like Pro Tools and Ableton have, such as like exporting MIDI, stems, things like that. But if you want to be able to record your own music pretty easily and have a wide variety of tools, GarageBand has pretty much everything in it you're gonna need. You can create entire songs. In fact, I've created many songs in GarageBand. And yes, you can record on GarageBand on an iPhone as well. But personally, I don't really like to use it on a phone because I just feel like the interface is too small, but on an iPad, it is really good. Now, the other thing that is great about the iPad, as opposed to like say a phone, is it actually has an audio jack right here. Is a input as well as an output. There are plenty of audio devices that will work with this built-in audio jack right on the iPad, so you don't really even need to buy an audio interface. Another reason to go with the iPad is the MIDI functionality. Now, MIDI, you can actually run from your electronic drum set directly into the iPad, into GarageBand, and you could record using the built-in sounds in GarageBand, which if say you have something like an Alesis Nitro Mesh or Crimson or something like that, the sounds in the iPad are probably going to be much better than the ones you have on your stock kit. I have a Roland, and actually they're pretty much better than mine too. Now, of course, sound is subjective and people have different opinions as to what sounds good, but the kits in GarageBand sound very realistic. Now, they are a little bit limited as far as what you get, and you can't really change much. For example, you only have one crash cymbal, you have one ride cymbal, you have 3 toms, a snare drum, and a bass drum. The crashes are all single zone, the ride cymbal is dual zone, and the hi-hat is single zone, and you can't change any of that. However, if you have more than those pieces on your kit like I do, you can actually change the MIDI notes sending out from your module. So say if I hit my left crash or my right crash, I can still get that same crash sound on both of them, so I don't have to change the way I play to achieve a crash sound on my drums. Another really, really good thing about the iPad is you can actually expand the audio input and use something like a professional USB audio interface, which I use on mine when I'm recording my drums, or my MIDI devices. I can actually plug in my Alesis IO4, which is an older interface, but it works just fine with the correct adapter you can buy that goes from Lightning, which is the Apple proprietary cable, to USB cable, and you can plug those in there and you can plug your electronic drums directly into the iPad. If you have a Simmons kit, what's really cool about those is those actually have Bluetooth MIDI. So you don't even need to plug those into the iPad. You can actually just send the MIDI right out of the Bluetooth right into the iPad, and that works actually phenomenally well. I've tried it myself. So there are a lot of perks to using the iPad. Now, I've only talked about GarageBand, but there's even more software. You can download other programs to run on the iPad that are more professional. But personally, I just really like GarageBand. For one, it's easy. It's the Apple program. There's a lot of plugins already installed. There's a lot of drum kits already installed. There's a lot of synths and instruments. So you have a lot of tools just right out of the box, and it's free if you have an iPad. You don't have to pay anything to get GarageBand, which is really nice. Now, say you had a drum kit like an Alesis Nitro Mesh or something like that. It's kind of a basic 5-piece setup, and you wanted to expand and improve the sounds that you already have. Now, you could spend some money and get something like Easy Drummer or, Superior Drummer 3, But you're still going to need a DAW to record your songs and to produce the music. And you're going to need a PC that can run that, or a MacBook, or, you know, it's going to take a lot more tools than just purchasing Superior Drummer 3 or, you know, Easy Drummer or something like that. Plus, Superior Drummer 3 is already about $300. Now, the other thing, you could spend $300 on an iPad and you'll get your entire DAW. You'll have drum plugins that you can use with your electronic drums, and you'll have a bunch of other effects and instruments all built right into the iPad with little other accessories needed. The only thing you really need is a cable to connect your drums to your iPad, and then some headphones to listen to, you know, while you're playing. Other than that, you're pretty much good to go. So for about 300 bucks, you'll have pretty much your entire recording studio right on the iPad. So I really think if you just had to buy one piece of equipment to complement your electronic drums, the iPad is probably the best way to go. I'm going to give you guys some examples to how to hook this up and the kind of sounds you could get out of the iPad if you're playing your electronic drums, and just show you some of the fun that you can have with these things. They are a really, really cool device. I know it's old news. They've been around for a really long time, but some of you may not know all the power that the iPad actually has. So here we go. All right, let me go ahead and show you how to hook up your drums to the iPad. Now, my setup here, it looks way more complicated than it is. A lot of this stuff is for other projects, mostly for my streaming setup. All we're going to be using right now is my electronic drum module, the iPad, and my audio interface, which is over there, audio/MIDI interface. Now, the only reason why I'm using that is because my module is so old that it doesn't actually have a USB output. It just has a standard MIDI output, which you can see back there. And I have that running to my audio/MIDI interface, which is right there. And then the cable to that is actually right here. And as you can see, I have this plugged into a Apple, they call this a camera adapter, which is basically just, let me unplug it and show you. It's basically just a lightning plug on one end and then a USB plug on the other end. Now, the other way that you could do this, and I'm guessing that most of you guys are going to have a module with a USB output, is they sell a cable on Amazon like this. Let's see if it'll focus, which is actually a USB-B, which is what will plug into your module, right to lightning on the other end. Pull that up so you can see it right there. So it's got a lightning cable or a lightning plug on the other end, and then USB-B there. So you could plug this cable directly from your module right into the iPad, and then just, oops, I accidentally turned on my click. And then just plug your headphones right into the iPad to hear yourself. So let me go ahead and hook this up. What I'm gonna do is record a little bit. I'm gonna do a couple of different things. I'm gonna record one little sample of me playing drums with some sounds directly from the iPad. So it's basically internal, all GarageBand sounds that you're gonna hear. And then I'll do another example that has a little bit of me playing with my drums actually recorded into GarageBand via the audio recording capabilities of GarageBand. Now, the way I'm gonna do that is actually through the audio interface, which is right there, like I showed you before, and it actually will work with GarageBand. Now, you don't need an audio interface though. As I was saying, you can buy those little, they're basically like an iRig. You could buy a real iRig, which costs about 40 bucks, but then they also sell this, Amazon sells this cheap $10 iRig copy. I have one myself. I don't know where it is right now, but I've used it, and you can plug that right into the audio jack on the iPad. And granted, they're only $10, but they are only mono input. So you would have to run just your mono signal out from your module to record that way. But still, it does a pretty good job. And I have recorded that way on the iPad as well. And it works pretty good. But right now, first, let me show you some MIDI drums using the iPad and GarageBand. So let's go ahead and open up GarageBand. I'm going to plug this in here. And actually, I'm going to have to put the camera down. I can't do this with one hand. So I'll just cut to me playing some drums. And what you'll hear is the sounds right out of GarageBand. All right, so as you can see, the iPad is a great addition to your electronic drum set. The current version is only about 300 bucks brand new for the base model, which is all I'm using. That's really all you need to do all this stuff with. Now, if you're looking for a very affordable way to record your electronic drums or just to produce music in general, I highly recommend checking out an iPad. Maybe you already have one laying around, you've never messed with GarageBand, maybe you've been intimidated by GarageBand. But if that's the case, there are plenty of tutorials here on YouTube where you can learn all about how to use GarageBand, and it is really not very difficult. It is just a really, really cool program, and the iPad is a great piece of hardware to add to your electronic drum set. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload new content. Also, follow me on Spotify. There's some links down below. Demonic Sweaters. I have a lot of music, a lot of new music coming out, and several of those new songs have been made right here on this very iPad. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys really soon. Have a great day.